Oh, we're live. We're live.
Yeah!
Welcome, guys. Today we have Christina V. Valenzuela with us. Do you just go by Christina V?
You know, there's a story behind that.
Well, wait, pause. Before I go into that story, I want y'all to know that she's the voice of Ladybug. Kilua, is that how I pronounce it?
Yes.
Okay. Sailor Mars, Young Donald Duck, Hestu Chante, and Soshi?
Yeah, Soshi.
Soshi and Victor and Valentina, which I also work on. So we're going to get into all of this fun stuff. But first, we're going to hear a great story from your last name, for your last name, of your last name.
Cool. Okay, so I chose V when I was first starting out for a lot of reasons. Because I grew up in a time where there weren't any Hispanic people in the credits. And so there was that compounded with the fact that there was this movie called La Bamba. And in that movie, and that was a movie we watched religiously as a family.
Yeah.
We're Mexican. And he has our same last name, Valenzuela. There's a scene in that movie where an agent says, hey, your last name isn't gonna fly. You need to shorten it. You need to sound Italian. And that just stayed with me when I was a girl, like, oh, I have to be more ambiguous. And that's why I chose V when I was 12 years old. And 12! That's when I decided, all right, Christina V, let's go. And I didn't have that realization about the Valenzuela thing until earlier this year, when it hit me like, oh my God, that's where I got that stupid idea that I wasn't really cognizant of. It was just something I grew up thinking. But I've recently begun to switch back. I'm doing V Valenzuela for now, and I'm just going to eventually switch to Valenzuela. When I feel like I just need to transition into it because that's been my stage name for so long.
Yeah, I was actually, I remember when I met you, it was Christina V, and recently when I went to go tag you, I'm like, oh, it's this V Valenzuela. I wonder, like, I just noticed the change, but that makes perfect sense. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful, though. It's almost like reclaiming your identity again.
Yeah, it really is. Things have changed so much for the better. It's not perfect, but I feel like there's just an openness now, and, I want to be part of that change, and I feel a little sad that I felt like I had to hide that part of me a bit, but I want to do that now, and I want people to know, like, I'm Hispanic, and I'm Lebanese, and, I hope that when people I hope people can see our name, like your name too, in the credits. Like, oh, hey, that's like my last name, and oh, they look like me.
Absolutely.
So that's that story.
Yeah, no, that's amazing because I do remember, when I first started acting, trying to get into film and TV in New York, I was like, oh, well, your name sounds a little too ethnic and you don't quite look ethnic. And I just felt strange. Like I knew so many people had changed their names and I just felt like, but Rabassa could be Italian or could be all these things. And there are all these Italian Americans that play white or whatever. Why do I have to like conform? But I almost think like now we're going into the old golden age of Latinos where we are looking for representation and authenticity, especially in animation, which is beautiful, and obviously in film and TV. And so it's almost like if you have the last name, it's like an asset, But it's cool that it's being accepted in a beautiful way because I feel the same as you did. I just didn't change my name because I also didn't know what I would change it to, but I didn't have the wherewithal at 12. Like you did.
I was very like, I want to be a voice actor. Like right out the gate, I'm like, this is what I want to do. Whoa! And I don't know, like that's.
Well, it's almost like if they saw your last name, you sound perfectly 100% American, right? You don't have an accent, and as soon as they go, oh, Valenzuela, oh no, she sounds a little, I don't know, she's Hispanic, maybe not. She can't play the white girl in that animation, so that makes sense that you did it. It's not. It was the business back in the day, and it still sort of is. I slate my name in English or Spanish depending on what the project entails.
Me too.
Do I want them to really believe I'm Hispanic? Yes, I'm Carolina Rabassa. Do I need them to know that I speak English properly? I'm Carolina Rabassa.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Christina Valenzuela or Cristina Valenzuela.
Absolutely. So shoot, let's get into the beginning of you. Guys, I'm dealing with internet stuff, so I have Christina on my phone, and I'm looking at the computer over here. I feel like a true gamer with two screens now. So I'm going to try and at some point transition over so it's just all on one screen because I can't handle the dual screens, and I like to be looking at you and not doing this. But I do like to engage with the chat when they're asking smart questions. When they're not smart, I ignore them. People are very excited. Two of my favorite VAs. Guys, thank you for being here. We have 135 people watching. That's really exciting.
Hi, everybody.
Yes. Welcome to Christina. I don't know if you're cool with this, but I want to know where they're all from because I think it's a fabulous thing to let the guests of the Twitch know that there's people from all over right now, like Malawi, which is constantly here. I know. Have you ever met anybody from Malawi? I haven't.
No.
So, yeah. So, guys, let us know where you're from because it's just exciting to know. Anyone want to construct pink overalls so Christina can dress up like Ray?
Yes, I would do it. There's like this iconic like scene in Sailor Moon in the 90s where she's like wearing like these like bright pink overalls with like high tops and a super cute style. Sailor Moon.
Well, Christina also does cosplay, guys. So if you haven't checked out her Instagram, please go there because there's so many cool things. Check it. Massachusetts, Southern California, Amsterdam, Pennsylvania, Venezuela, Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Argentina. Hello from North Carolina. California, more Argentina, Philly, Jupiter. I love that. San Diego, but you're Russian. Seattle, England, Germany, Bosnia, India, Romania, Greece.
Wow,
Isn't that nuts, dude? Yeah.
That's so cool.
I get very excited. Canada, Italia, ciao, Ludovici, Mino. Colorado. Super. Oh my gosh, so cool. Okay, let's get back to you. Are you a Californian?
Yes. I grew up in Norwalk, which is it's like really a place you can't really describe. It's like just a place where you grow up. You know what I mean? You just drive through it otherwise. It's by Disneyland. Ish. It's like 10 minutes from Disneyland, so that was a big part of my identity. I worked there. When I was 17, I worked there as a Jungle Cruise skipper.
What?
The Jungle Cruise, like, hey, it's the backside of water.
No, I've been to Disney once. So I know. Don't hate.
You gotta go. No, I don't hate.
Yeah. I gotta go.
I'm excited for you to explore. Star Wars Land is pretty dope as well.
Oh, cool! I haven't done that. I need to get on that. Super. Oh my God! So you worked there for how long?
I worked there for maybe less than a year. It was just like before, like right out of high school, and then I was in college, and I was like, this is hard. I can't work a job and go to college right now. Although many people do it, and you guys are awesome. But yeah, I worked there goodness, I did Jungle Cruise for about less than a year, and then I did Interventions, which was another thing. But that would really cut my teeth in public speaking. And
were you like presenting what was going on, and that's kind of how? Was that like your first job using your voice?
Yeah. So that job, it's an acting role basically, because you're driving the boat and you're saying jokes and interacting with the guests, and you do it like 8 times in a row. So you'll be doing that for about an hour. Then you'll take like a little break and like load the dock, and then you'll go back at it. It's a pretty intense job.
Wow. Yeah. Because you're also using your voice constantly. It can be very tiring. I'm sure you learned how to.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Because you're in the water, and it's so, yeah. It was challenging.
But then what did you go on to study in college? Did you know you always wanted to perform and pursued that, or?
I studied theater in college, and that was my first time studying theater, because before that, in middle school through high school, there was a period of 10 years where I played drums. I was a straight up musician, and
holy cow! Like you're a Forrest Gump of sorts.
Yeah,
I like to say that when he just did everything in his lifetime.
I did a lot. Yeah, but then in college, I thought I'm gonna do I want to be a voice actor. Like I should get serious and learn how to act really. And so that's what I did.
Because voice acting requires serious acting chops. It's not just impressions and funny voices.
Right.
Let's say hi to Greg Chun, who came to visit. Hi. You've worked with him, right?
Greg is the best and sweetest person. There was a period where I no longer had access to a booth, and he came over and he set up a portable booth and let me borrow his nice microphone for like a year.
A year?
Yes. And it saved my life. I was like in the middle of this huge transition, and it was like I really needed a friend, and Greg was there. And I'll
Greg,
always be so thankful to him. And he's just a great guy, and he's a great singer, and,
he is.
and a great voice actor.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, he is an actor and voice actor, and we met at a Comic-Con. He also plays the doctor to Lil Winston in Overwatch. So
Wow.
if Overwatch fans are here. Am I correct? I think I'm correct, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know, Greg.
Oh, you scared me when you were like, no, I think I am correct. So I hope I'm not confused. That's right. Okay. Sometimes I'm like, you have a brain fart moment. There is a comment that I would like to highlight of one of your cosplays. Can I say, this is the Wolf Bunny 64. Can I say that out of all the outfits Christina has worn, my favorite is the teal extra tropical maxi dress from Free People?
Oh, hey, I wore that one a lot. Thank you. That's so funny that you know exactly what that was.
They have you figured out, girl. They've been scouring your Insta.
So that dress, I will say, it had a good life, but it met a dramatic end. Because I was at Disney World and I ripped one of the seams, and so I freaked out a lot of people, but I decided to rip the dress, thinking like, oh, it'll be cute, like if it's just suddenly like a skirt, and I did that, and it was fine, and people were like, I felt like a Disney princess for a second, but then I ended up throwing away the dress because it just didn't work. Anyway, that's the story of the Free People extra tropical teal dress.
Before we continue into your voice acting life, where do you keep all of your cosplay outfits? Do you have a humongous closet with just like lined wall to wall awesome things?
I have we converted the garage into,
oh my god, is it full?
It's not full yet. I have a lot of rows though of just I collect clothing. I love fashion and designer fashion, and it's ridiculous because like there's no way I can wear all these clothes ever. But yeah, in my garage I have full space. Yeah, in there.
Oh, that's amazing. Did you make the Wonder Woman outfit?
That one I did not make. I actually don't know how to sew. So, I got that one on. I got that one on Etsy.
It's incredible.
Isn't it great? From Viva Wonder Woman. Cosplaying though is something I've just barely got into. Maybe 2 years ago, I just decided like, what's holding me back? I love this stuff. I'm not gonna hide it. I know what's holding me back. I felt a lot of pressure to hide me being a fan of the things that I love. It was like, you have to be a professional. And now I'm just like, I don't care. This stuff is great. I love it. I love being in it. I want to be myself and dress up and express myself in ways. And gosh, guys, in any way that I'm just saying, like, don't let people's opinions hold you back. Like, it's not fun. Just have fun.
Guys, nuggets of wisdom here on the Twitch channel.
I love cosplaying.
I'm going to talk directly to Thun Connects or THVN Connects. He or she says, I want to cosplay so bad, but I'm scared. That's exactly why you should cosplay, right?
Right.
Just do it and enjoy the heck out of it because it's really fun and it's going to free you.
Yeah, like when I put on that Wonder Woman costume for the first time and I got like my hair done and stuff, I felt so powerful and beautiful, and I was like, there's something to this. This is amazing.
Yeah. So go to town, guys, and do that because it's a really fun experience. And I mean, you don't have to go to a Comic-Con. You can do it in your own, basement, whatever. It's just a fun thing. If those of you who don't know, I borrowed a bunch of cosplay from Christina for my film, Morgan's Mask, and I used the Wonder Woman one. I didn't use all of them, but we did have a mannequin that my character puts all of her cosplays on. So sometimes we just dress the mannequin with your cool, like Princess Leia and Supergirl. So those were super useful. And then what was the other one? Of yours. Oh, the freaking Lara Croft.
Lara Croft, yeah.
That one is badass, and I felt super powerful in that, actually. I felt like I could go run and cause some damage,
Oh, so,
Yeah, I did not use the Supergirl one, but we use it in a shot where the mannequin's wearing it and I'm dressed up as Wonder Woman in front. It was just beautiful imagery all over. So I just gave them back yesterday, guys. So I actually saw her in person with a mask from far away.
And I got a beautiful tulip, and I'm gonna put it in my booth to brighten up and break the monotony of this gray.
Yay! Yeah. Wait. Here, Booty Farts 22. He's a regular on this channel. Goes, did you know Lara Croft started out as Laura Cruz? I did not know that. So she was Hispanic, and then they said, "Nah, let's make her a little more Anglo because Angelina's gonna play her."
She was gonna be like Spanish explorer type. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but they changed. I mean, I think that hopefully now we're again coming into a new era where our characters can be Hispanic and we don't have to neutralize them to make them more appealing to the world. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'm going back to the cosplay. Twitty Kit says, not gonna lie, the reason I have never tried cosplay is I feel I don't have the perfect body for it. And yes, it looks complicated. It might be complicated to actually make the outfit, but if you get one or borrow one from a friend, it doesn't matter what body you have, right?
Right.
You gotta love your body and wear what you feel comfortable in and enjoy the heck out of it. Self-love, guys, we're working on that.
And just, we have no control, like what other people think about us, and you know, you really have to just do what you love and be you, and you're gonna attract the people who love you no matter what. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who just subscribed. A shit ton of subscriptions just happened. Thank you. I am going to shout them all out at the end of the stream, just so that we don't break up the awesome conversation we're having, but I like to let people know. Can we also mention Christina V is also the voice of Kotori Minami.
Yay!
So how many voices do you do?
Oh my gosh.
Ish. Give me a roundabout number. I know it's 57, 125.
I'm not sure. I have. Let me see. I'm gonna check IMDb.
Yeah, guys, go to her IMDb right now. Do you have, what is it under, Christina V or Christina Valenzuela or
Christina Valenzuela?
Okay, cool. So if you haven't checked out her IMDb, please do, and her Instagram, which I have her tagged in. For on my Insta stuff, because she is let's talk. Okay, I'm all over the place today. I'm so sorry, but let's go to, you knew you wanted to do voices since you were young, and then how did you break into it, and how did it start happening? Because it's a really gruesome business to voice and film and TV acting. It's a bitch. I was looking at all the MP3s that I've sent as auditions. Guys, there are hundreds of them, if not over 1,000, because we record, we send an audition, put it in a folder, and move on. And at this point, I should count. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
Tell me about your process, because a lot of the people here are very interested in voice acting and pursuing it.
So I have kind of a fun story. Like I said,
I love fun stories.
I knew I wanted to be a voice actor. And my favorite show was Sailor Moon, and that's the show that made me want to be a voice actor. And back in the early 2000s, I would seek out, there were voice acting boards, forums, where people would post their voice acting and get comments and feedback. And that's what I first started doing, and that's how I really cut my teeth on. And I went to an anime convention. I forgot, this was a long time ago, when I was 16 years old.
Wow!
Went to an anime convention, and Bang Zoom was holding, they're like a big video game and anime dubbing studio here in LA. They were holding this little contest, try out voice acting, come and maybe we'll let you audition for one of our shows. And I did that, and I got selected to do it, and then they told me they wanted me to go read for their shows. And gosh, I was 16 then, and now I'm 33, and I've been working with them ever since.
Holy cow!
But that's not amazing. It's not I booked this and then it was fine. No, it took me, oh gosh, I say I think I was able to make a living off of it when I was like 25 or 26. That's when.
That's still incredible. Most people are waiting tables and bartending while they're pursuing that, or into their mid to late 30s or more. So to live off of it is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
incredible.
It took over 10 years, and I think that's very normal. But oh my goodness, yeah, it wasn't all. Of course, it's not easy. Like I said, I had to break this perception, I feel, of, oh, she's just a fan. Because there weren't really people, there was still very much like, it felt very closed, like gated. Like this is sacred, and, I definitely had my struggles and challenges. I felt pretty lonely. But
did any of your friends want to pursue it at the same time? Did you feel like you were the only one doing this like crazy thing?
Yes, for a while it was, like a lot of people didn't really know what it was or why I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
My parents were like, why are we driving you, 45 minutes to Burbank? I don't understand, like, what exactly are you doing?
Yeah.
Of course, all that's changed now. They're very supportive, and they've always been. But,
that's great.
That's how I got my start. And
so after college, did you move to LA proper to start pursuing it more head on, or how did it start really bubbling over,
Oh my goodness. I think part of it was taking that leap and moving to Los Angeles. My goodness. I just feel like it was kind of like building block by building block, little by little. And, it's like, I think I could afford to pay more rent this year. And then you take that leap again a couple years, like, I think I can afford to pay even more rent this year. And then it just came to that point where it's like, I'm not thinking constantly about how I'm going to afford my next meal. I'm not thinking about how I'm going to afford rent.
Yeah.
And, it just takes time and patience. I'm not saying like, I'm rich, because I'm not, but I'm very.
Yeah, I think that's the perception that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I remember meeting a gamer, an Overwatch gamer, and they're like, so do you and Anjali live in mansions in Beverly Hills? And I'm like, what?
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, I mean, I wish. Actually, I don't think I want a mansion, but, it's still like we do a gig and then we have to wait for the next gig, and Overwatch pays me for the gig I work, and that's it. It's not like Blizzard has me on this awesome retainer where I get 6 figures and then, we just that's not how it goes. Yeah.
It's job by job.
Yeah, and we do it because we love it, right? So, like, even though you are Ladybug, you still audition for other things, right?
Yep, all the time.
It's nonstop. And I'm sure there are, offers that they go, Christina's awesome. I'm using a microphone. Now you get to voice this character, because, they just offer a role to you because they know your talents and they've seen you do a gamut of characters. But for the most part, we send auditions. And you also, I'm like, talk to me about directing, because now you voice direct.
Yes.
How did you get into that? I mean, there's just, tell me all about yourself and your career, because it's inspiring so many people right now. I'm reading comments like, I want to voice act, but my voice is too shaky. I want to voice act, but I don't have the talent.
Okay. So I'll just touch on that really fast. When I first started, I was not good. I wasn't good. I wasn't even a good actress. But I wanted it so bad, and you guys, you can work on things like that. You can work on becoming a better actress if you first of all, don't judge your voice too harshly, because we all do. But I still, listen to my voice. I'm like, gosh, why do I still sound like I'm 12?
Well,
where's my
woman voice that you use a lot? It's good stuff.
Where's my woman voice?
Well, the woman voice comes out when you have to make it happen.
But yeah, so you're probably judging yourself too harshly, and all of that can be worked on, and singing lessons are great, and you learn, it's not, I think there's a misconception that you have to be born with something, but no, you just work hard. Directing. So my first directing job was on a video game called Skullgirls. And going back to college, I had to skip my last day of school ever, which was like this cool kayaking trip.
Oh my gosh.
Because I had to go hold auditions for Skullgirls. This is when we still used to do auditions in person. Goodness, and that's just something, that I think it was just kind of like a natural progression. People felt like, oh, she really gets it. Like this game has a lot of fighting game tropes. She knows fighting games. Or this game has a lot of references to pop culture. And Christina knows that. Like she can direct the actors to that. And that's how I started directing.
But you could, not all actors want to direct or voice actors want to direct. You obviously had a knack where you understood how to better direct somebody or pull that extra oomph out of whatever line they were doing. You have to have like a more global vision of the project to be able to guide somebody in the direction that's needed.
Yeah, I think that, being an actor definitely helps because I'm like, oh, I can tell they're feeling a little nervous. Like, oh, let me just like talk to them a little bit and, I think a lot of directing sometime is just making the actor feel comfortable and safe.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to shut them down because we're emotional creatures that need to produce emotion. And as soon as you feel like, oh shit, I'm not getting it, then there's something that happens where you just can't like freely, improv and let your voice go wild. So that's a very important thing is creating a safe space for your actor to also feel free and confident to do their job well, right?
Right. Yeah. I think I just try to direct the way I want to be directed. So I'm like, I'm going to push them this far, but, if it's not the way that I want it completely, then that's fine too. Like, as long as, the intention is across and it's their own flavor, that's completely fine.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's just finding the way each actor works a little bit differently to, have them click into that genius mode where they're doing their thing, They're asking what your favorite roles are, and I do want to know all about your ladybug experience.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
My favorite roles. Goodness. All right, so ladybug is a big one.
Yeah. Like, holy shit, congrats. That's such a huge show.
That show, oh my gosh. So I've been doing it for a while now, and I'd auditioned for that character like over multiple times, and then I finally got like callbacks.
Wow.
And I just, as soon as they showed me like the concept art, I'm like, oh my god, this is incredible. And they showed me like this quick like little PV they made like for I think to sell the show, and I thought this can be this generation's Sailor Moon. Like I think it has that kind of potential, and I got the part of Ladybug and I was in shock. Yeah, I was.
This was when did this happen? What year are we talking?
2000, I think maybe late 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, 2014, about that time. And I have this weird thing, again, going back to Disneyland, it all connects, where I get big role announcements when I'm at Disneyland or Disney World. So I got that when I was listening to, like, Let It Go on a big screen. I was like, let it go!
Funny!
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that show, I knew it was going to be great, and I knew I would love playing the character, but I had no idea. And it's still like, I feel like every year it gets bigger and bigger. And I think what I have now are like little fans. I'm very
little fans, as in little people that are 3 years old, or followers on your Insta.
Little like the under 10 crowd.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So on Insta, I try to be good. Don't let your kids follow me on Twitter, please.
Yeah. It's dark and political.
Yeah, for reals. Yeah, it's been pretty surreal. And I try not to think about it that much. But there are times like when I'll be at conventions and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is, beyond my wildest dreams of what I could have done voice.
Because you've gone as a guest for Ladybug? Because I know you also cosplayed her.
Yes. Yeah, just going out to conventions. I think that's, it's so easy to forget, like, oh yeah, I'm in this show and that show and I did this work. And then people are like, I loved it. I'm like, oh, yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got cosplayer at Comic-Con a couple years ago, and that was super cool.
Was that the outfit I borrowed?
Yes. Did you wear it?
I did. It's funny, we weren't going to, because we had a section where there's a montage of cosplays, and we'd already used the ones we needed. And then I'm like, for this scene where she's lying in bed talking to her mom, she should be wearing it! So I put it on. And, yeah, it was super fun. I think it totally gave the scene a different color. So I was just excited to like pull stuff out of the bag and be like, what am I going to use today? It was very much like that.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm so glad.
Yeah. So it's super cute comment. K Reina 18 says, my daughter ran over here because she thought I was watching Miraculous Ladybug without her. Because they're hearing you, and there you are. What does she sound like for those watching?
In the daytime, I'm Marinette. Just a normal girl with a normal life. But there's something about me that no one knows yet, because I have a secret.
Ah, miraculous. I just dropped my phone.
That's amazing. And at nighttime?
And at nighttime, I go to sleep.
No, because you're like, in the daytime, I sound like this. And I'm like, oh, what happens at night?
That's a good question.
So wait, when did that show air? You were recording 2014.
It started airing 2015, and it's had like a very interesting like air history. At first, it was on Nickelodeon, and I don't think it's network TV, and I think these days like streaming is where it's at. But when it started going on Netflix, that's when I noticed like like the Ladybug fan uprising, and then it moved to Disney Channel, and now it's on Disney Plus. So it's been pretty interesting. Yeah, it was on Nickelodeon and Disney. What
an amazing trajectory.
Right? Isn't that crazy? And it's, that was that studio's very first show. So it's really surreal.
Holy cow. And it'll continue on for quite a few seasons, I'm guessing.
Well, the plan originally was 5 seasons and a movie. We're currently recording season 4. But I hear that it might not end. So who knows?
I mean, it was doing well, So how does that work? Do you record weekly for them, or how do they bunch it up?
No, I'll record when we're like during seasons. I'll record maybe once or twice a month. Yeah, I wish it was weekly. That would be pretty dope. But
right?
No, yeah, it's like 12 hours, maybe once a month, I would say.
Okay. That's still that's super exciting to like know that you have a constant gig that comes, and you have a bunch of rotating gigs because we work. Actually, that's where I met you at the Victor and Valentino premiere.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Of course. Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to tell you something that's going to creep you out, but then you're going to understand.
Oh, you're so funny. Oh, you had directed Anj previously on something. I'm starting to remember.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
On Indivisible. She's amazing. Oh my God.
She is.
Anyways, I have a picture of you in my bedroom.
Oh, because of the group shot we took?
Actually, I did that. Like, hi. Yeah. No, that show is really important to me. It was my big, on Cartoon Network. That was, a huge goal. And going to that party and seeing everybody and getting to take that picture and just being part of the Victor and Valentino family is really incredible.
Yeah. Guys, for those of you who haven't seen Victor and Valentino, it's a beautiful animation on Cartoon Network about 2 brothers who kind of go into this, magical adventures in the netherworld of Dia de los Muertos type. Every episode is a new adventure, they go. And the creator is just a beautiful, generous soul who, this was his college thesis. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, I've totally grilled Diego on how he created this, and it's something that he just loved.
Gosh.
Yeah, and it took him 10 years to get it to, even to just try to start the beginning of anything. So when we finally met up for a meeting, he gave me the tour of the studios in Cartoon Network, and he was like, yeah, so I manage everybody on this floor. And I looked at him and I'm like, dude, you're fucking baller. Look at where you are right now. This is humongous, He leads a team of tons of people doing this Latino show by Latinos for Latinos and everybody else. But we've never been so beautifully represented before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's incredible. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And he's done so much research into really beautiful mythological Mexican, Aztec, Mayan culture. So it's just and it's funny as all hell.
Yeah.
I feel like this show's really well written. They've been asking if you can do your best impression of the Cat Noir.
Cat Noir. Hey, Bugaboo. That sounds like that's Bryce Papenbrook. Papenbrook.
That's him for you?
That's him. He sounds like he's all scruffy and deep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. And they also want to know who you would ship in Miraculous Ladybug.
All right, this is going to get lots of people angry. But right now, okay. So in the show, like the main aspect of the show is like Marinette, who's Ladybug, loves Adrian, who's Cat Noir. But Adrian loves Ladybug. He doesn't know that. They don't know their identities. Adrian loves Ladybug. Marinette loves Adrian. Drama ensues.
It's a spider web of love. I just ship everybody with everybody because it gets so complicated.
However, I ship her with another guy. His name is Luca, and he has blue hair, and he's very sweet to her. And I think
is he Italian, Luca?
Luca. Oh, you know that he might be.
Yeah.
That show has it has a really diverse cast, which is cool.
Yeah.
I believe she's Indian.
Oh, cool.
It's cool. It's a really cool show.
Super. What besides Ladybug? What are some of your favorite characters? I mean, so she's hilarious. She's also. I think you and I are just in one episode together. Do you remember the episode of the flying car?
Flying car. Yes, Carmelita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I play the freaking
the mechanic
who fixes
cool.
it. Yeah. We didn't record together. We don't always get to do that, guys. So we just end up finding out later on. Oh, right. So she said that, and then I responded to that. So it looks like we recorded together, but we didn't.
I think that's what I miss the most is recording with everybody together.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to your favorite characters. What are some that you really love doing when you get back into the booth?
Oh my goodness. I think one of my favorite recent characters was young Donald Duck.
How does young Donald Duck sound?
He's he sounds like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, who's played by Russi Taylor, originally in the 90s, and that was a voice that I grew up, and I'm like, I can kind of sound like this, and it's just I kind of had in my wheelhouse. When she, nobody will ever replace Russi, but when I saw that I had the chance to voice that character, I really went back and watched all of her stuff. And
so, he sounds like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and it's kind of like this, but, let me see, Uncle Scrooge.
That's young Donald Duck.
Do you have to do the crazy duck stuff?
Oh yeah, he does it like that. That kind of stuff, yeah.
Okay, it's fascinating to watch this beautiful woman go. Because you don't have a face for radio. You have a face for TV, darling.
Thank you. I also voice a pig. His name is Hawk, and I like him so much.
What is it? Lady Elizabeth.
Oh my God, so good.
I love it.
These are so much fun. It's funny because did you ever think I can do a pig voice? But I guess when we get these auditions, we go, I guess I'll see if I can do that, right? It's just expanding.
Yeah. I didn't know. I was like, I can honk and squeal and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah. You do. Someone's going, oh my gosh, you're Hawk. You're in League of Legends.
Yes.
What does Riven sound like?
I am awakened. A blade mirrors its owner. I did that one a long time. That one I recorded 10 years ago, but that's crazy because it's still a popular character.
Yeah, I mean, with video games, that's the thing, right? It's not like you watch an episode and you're done. You get to keep playing stuff and coming across these characters, right?
Yeah. League of Legends actually lent me on a temporary pivot career-wise because I was asked to host tournaments for IGN. So for about a year when they had their pro league, I was hosting their tournaments, IPL.
Did you like that?
It was okay. It was insane because I had no idea how huge the game was until they're like, Christina, 300,000 people are watching. I'm like, what? I thought, okay, hi. Yeah, and I was actually offered like a really huge, like full-time hosting job for a major esports company, but I would have had to give up voice acting. And I was like, oh, it's very tempting, but I can't leave LA. They wanted me to move and live in San Francisco and like travel with them and be on air every day. And that's just one of those things, like, that's so cool that it happened and that I was offered that, but that's where that stopped.
Wow. And are you a gamer?
Goodness, I love my Switch. I've played every single Pokemon game since it came out originally. Pokemon Blue through Pokemon Sword and Shield. I love Zelda. Breath of the Wild is great. I feel like I'm very much a Nintendo kid, though.
But I guess my question is, when they offered this job, like, you had to understand a certain amount of gaming in order to host this, right?
Yes.
Was there a learning curve there, or you were like, I got this, I could do it if I wanted to?
So I played League of Legends back then. I was pretty avid at it. So I guess the answer is yes.
That's incredible. Wow. But it takes a lot of guts, too, to say no to a really big possible continuous opportunity to continue pursuing what you really love, because usually it's like that job pays more and you don't know what's going to happen with voice acting, but this is the career path you really want. And so
I had just booked Sailor Mars and Sailor Moon, which I think I told you that was the first anime I ever watched. And Sailor Mars, and I was like, okay, I have to stick with voice acting. Like, I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere with it. I got this huge role. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And yeah, it was tough to make that choice. I was like hemming and hawing it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. So what does Sailor Mars sound like?
She says, let's see. Goodness, what does she say? She just kind of talks like this. She's like, I am Sailor Mars, guardian of fire. I'll chastise you.
Your voice is so silky.
Thank you.
It's delicious. And what silk takes me to Velvet. Velvet is another one of your characters.
Yes.
And what's Velvet like? Is she down here?
Yes, she's very deep. She is very tortured. She's a great character. First she starts off like really kind and happy and nothing's ever gone wrong in her life. And then, spoiler if you haven't played this game, but she watches her brother get murdered by her brother-in-law. And she just becomes so consumed with rage that her arm gets possessed by a demon, and suddenly she's on this path of vengeance. And it's a really cool look at like, because everybody thinks that this guy Artorias is like, he's wonderful and great, like kind of like a politician, and people look up to him and they think that she's evil, but really it's the opposite. And it's really interesting to see that journey with the characters. It was really cool.
What's your favorite, not voice, but like story or character arc that you've gotten to do?
Oh, I have a couple of cool ones. First, Velvet's one of those. Second, I play a character in this anime called Madoka. Her name is Homura Akemi, and she has one of the most controversial character arcs in anime history.
Why?
Because, guys, this are Madoka spoilers. Because first you see her and she seems like really aloof and maybe she's the bad guy, but it turns out that she's not, and she's been through these horrible things to try to save the Madoka, things that people couldn't notice the day. But then they made a movie where she literally becomes the devil. And
holy cow!
Yep. So that was pretty wild, and that is still a hotly debated topic. But I say that she did nothing wrong, guys. She's human, and she's been through so much.
Yeah. Gotta fight for your people.
Oh my gosh. And I played another amazingly tortured character named Sakura in Fate's Day Night, and she goes through like... goodness, there are things I can't say on air, but it's intense, and she has a crazy...
So you'll have to watch, people, so you can see what's going on.
If you're over the age of 30, you can watch Fate's Day Night.
30?
I'm just being safe.
Okay, I mean, let's hope that like a 20-year-old is mature enough to do that too.
Okay, fine. You could be 20 if you're mature.
You're so funny. Well, guys, so if you're interested in all this craziness, you can go watch it. 30, they're like, what? What does Kilo sound like? I'm sorry, I'm totally like pulling a this thing here because I'm just when everyone gets excited and mentions all of what you've done, it's fascinating. I also just love seeing everything that comes out of your little tiny persona.
Well, Killua is a young assassin boy, also a great character arc, and he just kind of sounds like this. Hey, Gon, I'm Killua. I guess I won't murder people anymore because you're my best friend now.
Oh my gosh, do you do a lot of dudes, like young teens? Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of I'm a lot of boys now. That's been my new thing, and it's so fun. There's a game called Genshin Impact where I play 2 dudes.
2 dudes? Are they younger than Killua?
Well, one looked like Killua. Like, I'll be honest, when I saw him, I'm like, oh, I can, like, this guy looks like he'd talk like Killua. So Bennett is kind of like this. And the other one is Xingqiu, and he's a little more refined and a little more elegant. Yeah, Bennett was definitely based on Killua, the voice of it.
Oh my gosh. So what is happening in the world of Christina coming up? In the next coming months, are you doing a lot of stuff that have NDAs? Or are there things that you can talk about and plug with everybody here watching?
Oh my goodness. So, I don't think there's much I can talk about voice acting wise until it's released. But one thing I haven't told you about is my singing career.
Let's talk about that. Well, people do want you to sing them goodnight. They're like, can you please sing me a lullaby? Because your voice is so soft.
Thanks. Yeah, that's something I've been doing since college. I had this song that kind of went viral and has continued to kind of be a mainstay. I did a cover of this song called Bad Apple in English, and oh my goodness, that's been crazy. Like, I first posted it when like 10 years ago, and it was really popular. And but 2 years ago, I redid it with a YouTuber, a friend of mine, Richard, and that one already has over 12 million views.
Shut the front door.
On YouTube alone. So it's been crazy, but I have other music. I'm always posting. I released an album last year that was just me. I just wanted to sing my favorite Broadway songs because I love Broadway. So I'm always posting stuff on that. That's just kind of like...
Where do you post them? On your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have YouTube, and I have Spotify, and I'm also like always collaborating.
What's your YouTube so people can go to it?
Christina V Music.
Christina V Music, super. And that's where and are they always videos of you singing live, or is it just audio?
Sometimes it's just audio, sometimes it's video. It's been a little tougher on the video end because I like to get all dolled up and make sure it looks good, and I don't want to go to makeup artist at the moment.
What's up, everyone?
But you're your own makeup artist. You always look flawless. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah.
Thanks. I can do eyeliner. That's it.
And lipstick. Someone wanted to know what lipstick you were wearing.
Oh, this is Urban Decay. I don't know what shade it is.
Urban Decay. Okay. You know what's I realized too though, I would always ask people, oh my god, what's your lipstick? I love it. And then I'd go find it at Sephora and I'd put it on. I'm like, oh, my skin tone's not the same as theirs. It doesn't work. So sometimes you have to just go, I love it on Christina, it doesn't look good on me, or vice versa.
I have so much lipstick that I bought that you can't find lipstick anymore. So I just
right.
And I'm like, this is awful on me. And now I'm stuck with it.
Yeah, or you give it to a friend. Sometimes I end up mixing them. I do have a lot of I put this one on the bottom and I add this one on top and it does a cool thing. So playing around. I also, when they're cheap lipsticks, usually I'll scoop them out and I'll paint with them. Have you ever?
Oh yeah? No.
Dude, you just get a little tiny spatula and you can make a small canvas and just use lipstick, and it's because it's so oily and delicious. It's almost like an oil paint. So I don't know. That's a fun project we could try.
Yeah. All right, that's a good idea. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. So you're saying I'm totally gonna check out this song. Can you remind me the name of the one that went viral?
Bad Apple.
Bad Apple, right. And you said in English, so is it originally in Japanese?
Originally in Japanese.
Super. Oh my God. Amazing. And they keep asking, what's your favorite Noel quote?
Noel, oh, let me see.
Noel.
Oh my
Oops. Sorry, guys.
What does she say?
Oh, goodness. I just know she talks like this. And she's really shy, but she's also a badass. And, oh, hands off the panda!
I love it. Well, so there you go. Who asked about this? Carrie Edwards. Okay, before I forget, I wanted to mention, as I swivel in this lovely chair, guys, I am sponsored by Secret Lab.
Ooh.
Right now. They make these beautiful leather gaming chairs. And guess what?
What?
You're like, what? We're doing a giveaway.
Ooh.
So one lucky winner can receive one of these beautiful chairs. I will be sharing all of that information soon on my Insta and YouTube and Twitter. Unfortunately, they don't ship to South America, for example. There is Southeast Asia, Europe, New Zealand, Australia, the US. So I'll put all that info out there. So unfortunately, South America is not included, which I'm like, damn it, because I have mailed stuff to Chile and Colombia before for winners. So if you're interested in an awesome gaming chair, it's going to be this exact one. I'll be sharing all that info, but make sure to follow me on Insta just because that's where most of my information goes. So if you're down for a gaming chair, we will mail it to you. Well, they will. I won't. But I'm really excited to be able to partner up with them because they sponsor us. So that's really exciting. What's Christina's favorite 4 quote? What's 4? See, there's so many things I can't keep up.
Oh my goodness. 4 is from a video game called Drakengard 3. They all have numbers. My favorite thing for her was her maniacal laughter, which I will do when I put that on.
And it sounds like this.
There are not enough occasions to maniacally laugh in this world.
How do you do that? I think that like those kinds of laughs are a very particular thing that just doesn't come out of the blue.
For me, I kind of think about it as singing.
That's smart.
Also, I'm just naturally an evil overlord, so that's just the laugh I was born with.
That's not how you laugh in real life. So incredible. Are you currently directing?
I just finished directing a project. I can't talk about it, and I have other projects coming up this year that I'm excited to work on. Goodness, I'm drawing I'm working on stuff. I can't think of.
Yeah, no, and sometimes we can't talk about it till they come out or trailers and stuff. I was going to ask you if you had, well, they asked if we have management teams, but I think that ties into also just pursuing voice acting when you don't live in LA or New York and it's not an obvious, like, oh, this is how you do. Like, what do you suggest? I mean, I'm always recommending the websites of D. Bradley Baker and Crispin Freeman, and even Stephen Bloom just does awesome classes online. But is there any other little tidbits you'd recommend that could maybe help somebody in the UK or, you know, in Ohio if they're interested in exploring how they could come about this?
You know, especially if you're not in like one of the major regions like Los Angeles or New York. You know, I know people who started and cut their teeth on like Voices 1, 2, 3, and they were able to, you know, build their skills and make a living out of that. And then they, you know, when they were able to move over or find an agent, they were able to switch over. Be careful about the sites, though. You know. Always go
about the what though?
About the pay-to-play voice acting audition sites. But I think that there are plenty of opportunities, and right now, you know, the world is ripe for voiceover.
It is.
Yeah. So
I think like Google is just such a helpful tool. You know, you look for a local studio or a local class, not necessarily like pay to audition, but if you can take a class where you can, you know, work on your shaky voice or like, because the shaky voice is just because we get nervous, right? So it's a matter of like trying to find. if we like it, and sometimes it's just a really fun hobby that you can like do at home, and while you play video games with your friends, you can imitate Tracer or Jet or whomever. Otherwise, if it's something you really want to pursue, then you start finding the tools and working on it. We weren't born voice actors,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is a silly little thing that I do with my chat here, and it's an inside joke for Valorant, a video game I'm on. And basically, I ask you to say, "Revive me, Jet," 3 times in a character voice you'd like. So it could be as Riven, I keep forgetting how to pronounce that, or even Miraculous Ladybug. That would be really funny. And it's just, you're asking to be revived in games, so if you can say it 3 times with some urgency to you, that would be really fun.
Revive me, Jet! Revive me, Jet.
Revive me, Jet.
Guys, you did it in 3 different characters! That's a whole new thing!
I thought I was supposed to. No?
No, well, it doesn't matter. This was perfect. Now you've set the bar higher because I'm going to have to ask everybody to do it differently. Oh my God, so good. Thank you. Yeah, so Valorant is another Riot Games that just came out. Riot Games game that just came out. Well, it didn't. It came out in May, I guess. Oh my God, this pandemic has just seemed like the craziest thing. I feel like it was yesterday.
A million years and a single day, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Christina, before I wrap up, I like to shout out all the people who subscribed and all of the fun stuff. So I'll do it while you're here with me. If you want to take this time to think of anything else you want to highlight or shout out or whatever, I always like to leave on that note. But for now, I will start. We got Jackalope. Oh my God, guys, my internet just went down again, but I'm glad I have my activity feed here. Okay. Jackalope 3721 subscribed for 6 months. Oh my God, thank you. That's incredible. Greg Chun VA cheered 1,000 bits. What a sweetheart. Thank you. Electra Twitch cheered 100 bits. Hype train. That happened. Corn Relish subscribed for 6 months in advance. Guys, I'm loving you guys. Thank you so much. This is insane. I'm honored. Corn Relish also gave out 20 Tier 1 community sub gifts. Anonymous Cheerer for 500 bits. You're a sweetie. Super Sensei Rose cheered 5 bits. Another Hype Train at level 4. The community contributed a total of 22 sub gifts. That's insane. I think this has been the best yet. And SG Delacour cheered 5 bits. I love it that you're like, yay, thank you. Croco Guy, again, subscribed 4 months. Thank you for all these amazing streams and people you share on them. Lovely Miss Carolina. Thank you, Croco. You're the bomb. Senor Busy Man is subscribed for 1 month at Tier 1. Oh my God, I'm like, I've never had to thank so many people for subscribing. Super Sensei Rose cheered 5 bits. Tam Tubui subscribed with Prime. And Mercy Yura, you get a boop. You also get a uwu, and you all get a here comes the party. That's my Brazilian character in the video game. Christina V has been a fabulous guest. Dude, this has been a very popular stream today, and I believe it's because of you being on here. So
I have to thank you because my roommate plays Overwatch, and I'm like so cool now. Because when Anjali came over, he was like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Oh, that's Anjali Bhamani, voice of Symmetra in Overwatch." And he was like, and then yesterday he was like, "Oh, who was that?" I was like, "Oh, that's Carolina Ravassa, voice of Sombra." And he was like, so
you should have had him come to the door, and I would have given him a mask.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Well, I'll send you a voice note. What's his name?
His name is Michel.
Michel.
It's
okay.
French.
Michel, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I will. I love how we turn into like the chef from The Little Mermaid. Les poissons, les poissons.
I know. I tease him relentlessly. It's pretty great. I tell him I got like my whatchamacallit test back with 23andMe, and I'm 4% French, and I was like, that's right. I'm allowed to speak French 4% of the time.
What's your other percentages of things?
Mostly Tepehuan tribe in Mexico, and Lebanese was the second biggest. And then there's like, Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a huge Lebanese community in Colombia. Like Shakira. Everyone thinks that we dance like her, but that's like her Lebanese side with the hips shaking. We do move our hips differently, but not like the awesome Arab dances she does. What a fabulous mix! Oh my gosh!
Thanks.
Explains your beauty.
Oh.
All right, guys, so do me a favor and follow Christina V on her YouTube channel, because I'm going to go straight to check out that music right now, and the Insta, maybe Twitter if you want to get a little darker, apparently.
You want to get fucking gritty with. It's not like that. I mostly just post about my cats.
Oh, cool. But also your Insta is super fun because you have really fun cosplay on there, and it's really stunning. So,
I'm also on TikTok now. Thanks, pandemic, for giving me free time to do stuff.
Oh my goodness, how's that going? I started it, but I don't know.
It's crazy.
Do you enjoy it? I just find like it's another thing to like create content for, and like my brain doesn't want to.
Oh gosh, it's like one of those things. It's like I enjoy doing this, but I also know like it's because I have more free time now, and I'm just like clicking around, you know. But yeah, follow me.
Yeah. And how do you find that time? You're directing and voice acting and all of the thingies, and doing amazing makeup. That's like.
Thanks. It's the time. It's the time that I would have been in traffic.
Good point. We roll out of bed and we do a recording session. We don't have to deal with traffic now. So we've gained more time for sure. Guys, I want to thank everybody here today. It's been a really busy stream. Latinas for the win. Thank you. They're saying, Christina, you're a legend. I mean, there's just been a lot of interaction today, more than usual. And I'm chalking it up to Christina V. So thank you for joining. And guys, yeah, we do this Tuesdays, Thursdays, 12 to 1 Pacific Standard. We're going to be talking about a friend's Kickstarter next week because he's starting his own comic book, which is also super rad. So I think that pandemic has definitely made people branch out and become creative in weird ways. So stay tuned, and guys, keep booming and booping.
Woo!